Hey everybody, greetings and salutations. What I have for you today is a very long overdue update on my Invisalign process. So if you've looked at my earlier videos, you'll know the dates were quite a long time ago. I actually started my Invisalign process about 3 years ago, and there were a lot of delays. There was stuff going on. The dentist left the practice, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, here I am 3 years later, and I'm actually done. I've actually finished my process finally, and I am in the retention phase. I have a retainer that I get to wear, and I'll be wearing a retainer for the rest of my life because if you've gone through the process of getting your teeth straightened and you want to keep them straight, you need a retainer. I have been saying all along that I didn't have any good pictures from before I started the process, and it turns out that's a lie. I didn't realize I actually have quite a few, and I'm going to pop those up so you can see them and you'll be able to compare my teeth as they looked before with how my teeth look now. So here are the details. I am not 100% satisfied with the outcome. Um, but I had a long conversation with my dentist, and it's like there's not a lot she can do to change the last little thing that I want fixed. So most of the process, I know my hands look giant because I'm using my phone. Perspective is the thing, you guys. Most of the work that was done with the Invisalign process was widening my palate, so making room. My molars were so crowded that they had pushed my front teeth into an overcrowded position. Also fixing my bite a little bit because my back teeth didn't actually touch properly. And so that has been improved. But of course, like all people, there was a vanity part of this whole process. The reason I wanted to do it really was because I wanted, when people saw my smile, for my front teeth to be straight. So I had 3 sets of trays altogether. So it extended things out, and that's why it took 3 years. So blah, 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 blah. I'm going to pop up some pictures of how I started, and then I can show you what my teeth look like now. So take a look at that. You can see my front 2 teeth are pushing backward, and the teeth next to them are pushing forward and twisted. I'm going to adjust the lights a little bit, moving closer so I can show you what the final outcome is. So look out for an extreme close up. Okay, so sorry about the glasses glare. I don't know how to fix that right now. So you saw how these teeth went out, these teeth went back, and now you can see that I do have a straight line. The front teeth are straight. The front 2 teeth are touching, which is how they're supposed to be. So here's where I have dissatisfaction. Gosh, I hope this shows up okay. So this is where I have dissatisfaction. I want you to notice how these 2 teeth are still twisting forward. And you can see a shadow where they aren't lined up perfectly in front. So they still stick out a little bit. And that's where my dissatisfaction comes into play. I wanted that straight smile, nice and bright, like you usually see with the outcome of braces or Invisalign. And I don't have that. And I had a long conversation with my dentist about that. And she told me a couple of things that I didn't actually know before. I didn't realize this before. First of all, in order to have that perfectly lined up line of teeth, your teeth have to be flat and triangular. I hope that makes sense. The teeth need to be a little bit triangular and flat. And my teeth are actually more oval. So no matter what we do, they're not going to have that straight line. But nobody ever explained that to me before. I didn't know that at all. The other thing, which I realized on my own, I have an uneven gum line. So, even if they were perfectly lined up, they're not actually going to look straight. They're never going to look like perfectly straight and perfectly aligned. And again, what I expected. They're never going to have that because my gum line is uneven. And my gum line is uneven because that tissue right there that connects the gum and the upper lip. It's not supposed to be down that far. So having it attached so far down on my gum has pulled my gum line up in front. So basically, no matter what we do, I'm never going to quite have the tooth appearance that I expected. So that is disappointing after all this time. So things probably look a little weird and different because I remembered about an hour later that there was something else I wanted to mention. So when you're talking about expectations meeting reality, if you compare yourself to people on YouTube, a great many of them have had their teeth whitened. And that actually affects the appearance of alignment and the appearance of straightness because it reduces shadow, the shadow that you're going to see between teeth, or in my case, that little bit of twistedness. I can see that more clearly than maybe other people can because my teeth are like their natural white color. There are variations of color, and that's normal, but I see that. And if my teeth had been whitened, if I ever get that done, that will reduce the appearance of shadow that to me makes my teeth still look like they're crooked. So I just wanted to mention that. Back to our regularly scheduled program. So to me, things don't look that different. But when I actually found those pictures from earlier, when I look at those and I compare them to how my teeth look right now, clearly there is an improvement. After all this time I've spent, I don't want to mess that up. So I am, of course, going to wear my retainer for the rest of my life. So I want to show you a couple of things. I'm going to back up a little bit too. This is my final Invisalign tray. Boy, they don't stay bright and shiny for after you've worn them for a while. So this is the very last one, which I am keeping as kind of a backup for my retainer. So you can see what the Invisalign tray looks like, right? So you pop that in. There it is. It still makes me lisp a little bit. And I'm going to take it out. Hang on. All right. So the other thing that I'm kind of having some dissatisfaction about, that tray, when I put it in and it's the final tray, it doesn't fit 100%. I still kind of have a lisp. It still kind of doesn't feel like it fits right. But I'm done, right? That's the final tray and I'm all finished and I do my retainer. Honestly, between you and me, I think there was still a little bit of work to be done. And I think that the dental office was just sort of sick of dealing with me after all this time. I got the comprehensive program that includes all corrections. And so I think we were past the point where they were actually spending more money on the corrections than I had paid for the comprehensive package. So I'm not 100% sure that I actually was done. Whatever, I'm done. I'm done now. I'm finished. So that's what the regular tray looks like. And this is my retainer. We went with what is called an essix retainer. And you can see that it's shaped to my mouth, to my teeth, and to my upper palate. And it's actually okay. It's much less annoying than the Invisalign trays are. It is a little bit thinner. It's like the same material they use for the Invisalign, but it's like a little bit thinner, so it's a little more comfortable. It fits my gum line better. I'll pop this in. Pop myself in the mouth with this. Okay. Very simple, not visible, and it doesn't affect my speech at all. So it is perfectly fitted. So it's called an essix retainer. It is much cheaper. It was $75 to get this. And it was made in-house at the dental office. I picked it up the next day. If something happens, this is pretty easy for me to replace. It's not going to be expensive. It's comfortable. It's really comfortable. If and or when I want to, I can get the Invisalign made retainer the vivera retainers. It's more expensive, but they are stronger and they do last longer. I can't speak to the comfort level of the vivera retainers though, because obviously I don't have one. Okay, so I think that's it for my updates. Thanks for listening. If you have questions, pop them down in the comments and I will get back to you as quickly as humanly possible. Hey, have a great and wonderful life, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.